Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of Bendy in the Retrospective. If you missed part 1, the link is down below in the description, and without further ado, we're gonna jump right into it. We wake up in a room full of coffins with a summoning circle drawn on the floor. We pick up our axe and begin to make our way through the halls until we reach the music department, led by Sammy Lawrence. As we explore the recording studio, we encounter living ink blobs that try to attack us, which we dispel with our trusty axe. We need to get into Sammy's office to drain the exit, but it's blocked by a broken pipe. Finding the keys in the custodial closet, we learn how to access Sammy's secret hideout by playing a song on the instruments before the projector turns off. We enter the sacred sanctum and turn off the ink flow, giving us access to the infirmary. We flip a power switch and go down to the sewers. We come across a shy ink blob who's holding a valve wheel that we need. Sadly, we gotta kill this guy here because we really need that valve.
Sorry I had to do that. Nice hat though.
We can now enter Sammy's office to turn off the ink to access another exit. Just as we think freedom is ours, we are stopped by Sammy Lawrence. The twisted man made of ink wears a Bendy cutout mask, corrupted and twisted by the darkness. We wake up tied to a post as Sammy reveals he's the one that's been drawing the summoning circles and making the Bendy shrines in all the corners of the studio. He worships the ink demon, believing he will set everyone free. In order to free the studio inhabitants, he is going to sacrifice us to the ink demon. Just as we think this is the end, the ink demon attacks Sammy off screen. We break free from the ropes and run for the door, breaking the obstacles in our path as the ink demon pursues us. We finally reach safety and are greeted by a familiar, friendly face. Boris the Wolf. As for Henry's current adventure, he's still looking for the exit while being thwarted by ink blobs and Sammy Lawrence. The majority of the lore is told through the tape recordings scattered throughout the department. We learn that the addition of the ink machine has caused nothing but trouble for the employees. They are moved around, and even Jack Fane has been banished to the sewers. Pipes and pumps are installed throughout the studio, much to the chagrin of the writers and musicians, with ink leaking into their offices and even flooding the exit stairwells. Sammy Lawrence's descent into madness is recorded not only by himself but his co-workers like Norman Polk. Sammy has been swallowed by the ink and worships the ink demon in destructive ways, thinking he is the answer to their escape. I admit, Sammy Lawrence always seemed like he was going to play a bigger role within the story of the overall game. I think along with the ink demon, having a consistent side antagonist trying to stop our progress would have been fun and made for a great boss battle before the ink demon himself. I really enjoyed the world the Meatley and their team have built, showing us how terrible things have become in the once thriving studio. The storytelling method is fun and goes beyond just reading documents, as you can hear the excitement, exhaustion, and concern in the characters' voices through the recordings, and that this ink machine is much more of a burden and less of a miracle. The music department is a great improvement from the starting area. There's a lot of variety in each room's design, making the next door you open really exciting to see what you'll discover. Most of the rooms in this chapter serve a purpose to the department instead of just being empty closets. The addition of multiple levels and stairs, paired with the searchers, add a new tension as you don't know what will be at the top of those stairs or behind the next door. Now, the sewers aren't terribly unique, but still a room that serves a purpose, as this is where a lot of the ink flows through. In Bendy, the rooms have a level of detail that keeps you engaged in the environment, that makes you feel as though you are really exploring an animation studio within the music department. The gameplay in this chapter is much more engaging because we have actual combat now. Having actual threats active throughout our exploration creates a new challenge and keeps the player on edge just beyond the jump scares. What I really liked was how the answer to the recording room puzzle was in one of the tapes. This encourages the player to listen to all the tapes, serving as a way to tell the story so players don't miss it and adding to the gameplay. This chapter is much more enthralling, and while the series of tasks can get a little monotonous, just to access one room, it's fun to explore this larger map. This is a large step up from the first chapter, and it's exciting to see how the gameplay will evolve over the course of the game. I love the little details that went into this chapter, like the song titles and the actual notes on the sheet music for each song. The little animations that play on the projectors and the different posters for the cartoons are definitely a nice touch. This felt more like a love letter to the early years of animation, like the Train Trouble poster being a callback to the classic Steamboat Willie. The bacon soup is a product of its time, as back in the mid to late 2010s, it seemed as though the internet was kind of obsessed with bacon. The music and sound design are great, as at the start of the chapter, it plays an orchestra warm-up before we explore the music department, tying everything all together. The old song is probably the most iconic chapter in the entire game, bringing in new puzzles and gameplay mechanics along with memorable characters. We now have actual threats to deal with, creating tension and excitement. We have to explore the maze of the music department, narrow halls that make you feel trapped, and open rooms creating a feeling of vulnerability. Bendy and the Ink Machine is now finding its footing within the gaming world, and is setting itself apart from other games at this time, with having the ability to fight back but still limited to create a sense of unease. Out of the 5 chapters, I would rank this one at number 2. As the game has grown and evolved into something beyond trying to just survive, as our characters and story now have depth that goes deeper than Joey Drew Studios. I want to thank you all so much for watching part 2. Again, it means so much to me that you're on this adventure, and of course, I'll see you all in part 3.